What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talking to Dude. I know background's a little different. Thanksgiving, traveled out of town, but obviously we still got to get the content out to you guys. So Thanksgiving out of town, but we're still going to get a recording out for you. Obviously, big game last night in Vegas against number one team Gonzaga, who a lot of people are picking to win it this year, but we were able to get the dub 84-81. Got my guy Rob Dosser, closet biggest Duke fan in the world. He doesn't express it as much because he doesn't want Jeff on his head about it, but he does love us. So we're going to chat a little bit about the game last night. What's going on, Rob?
What's going on, man? How you doing? How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good, man. Turkey was good. Sides were good. So, we had 3 different pies. So, I mean, it's
that's the key, right?
Top level. Yeah. Yeah. Very high level.
Yeah. So you got to be.
Let's.
Right.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think they played their best game. Paolo obviously played really well in the first half, but I think the Cramps had him pretty uncomfortable for most of the second half. He wasn't as aggressive. Didn't really seem like, he could move like he wanted to. But yeah, I mean, overall, really good win. Seemed like a crazy atmosphere. Wish I could have been there. But yeah, it was, I think, good solid win for our guys.
Yeah, I think that was the first half was about as well as I think you'll see a Duke team play at any point this season. And it wasn't just the stuff that they were doing offensively. Obviously, Paolo looked awesome. But for about those first 18 minutes, they were really, really good on the defensive end of the floor. They kept Gonzaga getting out in transition. Drew Timme is awesome. And just keep in mind, he finished with 17 points on 7 to 13 shooting last night. But they pretty much held that dude in check. Like, he wasn't really the kind of impact guy that you expect out of someone like a Drew Timme, a preseason national player of the year. I mean, it was the first 18 minutes of that half before Paolo got in foul trouble and before the Cramps started. Like, that was your probably peak Duke performance, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what Paolo did, 20 in the first half was amazing. I don't know if you can solidify yourself as number one pick in one half, but he may have done it last night. And yeah, I mean, I think our defense was good, but that Gonzaga team is really good too. And every time I thought we were going to get a little bit of room, they would come back and hit us with a little run. So, but I think it was good to see. It was good to get that that pushback from Gonzaga and see how you react. See how what happens when you go up 6 and they cut it to 2, and you got to find a way to to fight back and push the lead out a little bit more. Even in the second half, Gonzaga came back and took the lead for a little while. And we were a little bit out of sorts offensively, not really getting the best shots. But I think Wendell really settled us down, especially with Paolo out. And we started to get back to what we were doing well in the first half.
Wendell was great. He's been great all season, but he was particularly good last night. But I'm looking at his line right now. He finished with 20 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, and 4 steals. And I'm just are you expecting this out of him this year? Like, did you see this coming? I know you were at K Academy. I know you've been around that team and you talked to the guys. Did you expect this kind of season coming from Wendell? Because I know I was kind of to the point where it's like, yeah, you know what? Maybe he's kind of going down that Joey Baker route of he's always just going to be the guy we want to be the next great player.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he'd have a good year. But I thought he'd have a good year last year too, and he didn't have a bad year. I guess we just all thought he'd take a bigger step, but I don't know that I saw him doing quite what he's doing now with the rebounding, with the playmaking. His defense has been really good, and he's just he's been our rock really in these big games. So I've been really impressed, and. It's not, to me, it's not fluky. It's, he's doing it, night in and night out. He's already recorded a triple-double this year. He flirted with another one. Yeah, I don't know that I can say I would have called, this kind of performance from him, but I've been super impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth pointing out too that everybody runs, kind of their own race when it comes to finding a way to reach your potential, I guess. You know, you don't have to, just
Absolutely.
because you're not a first, if you're like a McDonald's All-American, just because you're not a first round pick 3 months into your freshman season doesn't mean you're not going to end up getting there. And I don't know if Wendell's going to
For
end up being
sure.
a first round pick, but that dude's going to play in the NBA because of what the season that he's
Yeah.
having right now, and partially because of games like that. So it's good reinforcement to let people know that sometimes the sprint turns into a marathon, but you still get where you need to get to.
Absolutely, for sure. And then, Mark as well had a really huge game impact on both ends of the court. Was finishing over the top, was blocking shots, had a hell of a block that got marred by a bad foul call in the first half on Timmy. That's all I'll say about that call. But yeah, I mean, I think Mark was super impressive, and another guy who last year starting his freshman year wasn't playing much, but just kept after it, kept working, finished the year great, and then has come in and been playing really well this year. So, I mean, he was awesome. I mean, his impact last night can't be overstated, especially on the defensive end. Like you said, Timmy did have, ended up with 17, but I think Mark did a really good job on him. Made it tough, made him have to, really get in his bag to get buckets. And, down the stretch, he had 4 fouls, so it was a little bit tougher for him to guard. So, but yeah, I think his impact was awesome last night too.
And it wasn't just what he did to Timmy, right? It's having that rim protector to erase everything in the paint. Like we talked about this on the After Dark show on Tuesday night with Gonzaga, in that the impact that Chet Holmgren has is you can get out and you can really pressure on the perimeter and you can make things difficult for people trying to run stuff offensively, knowing that you got an eraser at the rim. If you get beat, they still got to go finish over that 7-footer with a 7'5" wingspan, right? And I think you're kind of seeing that a little bit with Duke right now. So I mean, to me, that's his biggest impact, is it allows Duke to go out and kind of play defense the way that the old school Duke teams did, right? Back in like 2003, 2005, so even your years a little bit too, where you can kind of get out and pressure and take people out of their offense and overplay, and just kind of it turns into, I dare you to try to beat us one-on-one, right? Switch everything, get in the passing lanes, make you win one-on-one, and say that I think that we can stop you, as opposed to someone beating them off the one. And then knowing you just have that eraser at the rim, it just makes life so much easier. Am I right? I mean, you played in it. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. My years, we had the Plumleys back there. So, if you know anything about them, it's 3 freak athletes, 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot. So that was always nice, especially for someone like me who, got beat pretty often. But, they made it look all right, when they get a block to help me out. But yeah, I mean, it's it's good, man, because they also have really good perimeter defenders. I think Jeremy, Wendell, and Trevor are all 3 really good wing defenders. And, having that peace of mind knowing, like, hey, if I do get beat, I do have Mark back there to help me out, gives you that extra, like, confidence to get up into your guy and really get that ball pressure. And I think that's one of the things that helped us last night was, for most of the game, we were really pushing Gonzaga out, and they were having to start their offense outside of the scoring area. And, that just making them a little bit uncomfortable and, not flowing as well as they usually are, helped us out a lot on the defensive end last night.
Yeah, I think to me the most impressive thing for this performance from Duke was they got 1 point out of Paolo in the second half, right? Like he was awesome in the first half. It was as well as you're ever going to see him playing the game in college. Second half, like he scored 1 point. He had the cramps. You got Trevor Keels finished, what was it, 2 for 11. Jeremy Roach finished
2 for 13. Yeah, something like that.
Starting backcourt was 5 for 24. They were 1 for 9 on threes.
Yeah.
Trevor Keels missed 2 front end of free throws, or front end of one-on-ones, and you still won. Like that to me kind of tells you how good this team can end up being, is that you did not play your best game. You did not play anywhere near your A game in the second half. Your best player, the guy that might be the best player in college basketball, was out there limping around looking like me after I got off a Peloton ride, right, for the final 20 minutes, and you still won, and you still beat the team that beat Texas, that beat the hell out of UCLA. Like, to me, that says a lot about what this group can be. And AJ Griffin still isn't healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like everything you said is true. I mean, like I said, when we started, we didn't play our best game. We shot terribly from three. I think, what do we have, like 4 or 5 threes, and Paolo had 3 of them in the first half.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, Paolo gets 1 point in the second half. We missed a bunch of free throws. We left a lot of points on the line. But even still, Theo John comes in and hits 2 hook shots. Wendell settles us down. I mean, and then even Jeremy, struggling most of the game, hits one of the biggest buckets of the game to put us up 3 with 40-something seconds left. And yeah, I mean, I think this is a team where, it doesn't seem like they get rattled. They were steady even when, Gonzaga was making their run in the second half, and it seemed like, okay, Gonzaga is going to do, what they do and kind of pull away here. They didn't allow that. And I think the biggest thing that makes them really dangerous is, their identity is on the defensive end. It's not on offense. Mm-hmm. So, and defense and rebounding travels anywhere. You can take that anywhere. So, sometimes jump shot might not come with you on trips. Sometimes your offense, may struggle, going here or there. But, if you defend and rebound, that'll travel wherever you go. And I think that bodes well for them come NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned big shots from people you didn't expect. Joey Baker had a big 3 in the second half too.
Yeah,
not just talking about the.
I don't know if he called bank on that one, but
you got to start calling.
We'll take it.
Banker.
For sure. Yeah.
The other thing I think is really impressive about this team, or maybe is one of the reasons why I'm so high on them, is what their front line is and how big and physical they can be. Paolo's never going to play the 5. Mm-hmm. He didn't play the 5 for 1 possession yesterday.
Yeah.
Mark played 28 minutes. Theo John came in and played 12 minutes off the bench. You never have to play Paolo at the 5, but he's quick enough where if you need him to switch on to point guards, there were possessions where he was on an island against Andrew Nembhard last night, right? Mm-hmm. So when your 4-man that is switching on to point guards is Paolo Banchero, all 6'10", 240 pounds of him, think about how tough and physical and difficult you are going to be to play against, because there's no one else in college basketball that can do that.
No, yeah. And I mean, again, that's one of the things I enjoy about this team is like our center position is always going to like be solid. And I don't think we've had that in a while where we've had, our starting center is really good and our backup center is really good. Because Theo's, starting on most teams in the country this year, with what he brings defensively, he showed, he's got offensive game, right hook, left hook. So to have that anchor, no matter what, for 40 minutes, we're going to have an anchor in there, whether Mark's in foul trouble, or not playing with whatever, we got somebody in there that we can rely on. Who's going to get rebounds, who's going to protect the basket. And again, allows Paolo to not have to bang, with the other team's 5-man at all. At 6'10", you know what I'm saying? So frees him up on offense.
Keeps him out of foul trouble too.
Keeps his legs underneath him so he doesn't have to work. Yeah, it keeps him out of foul trouble. So, and then the other thing is, once we get AJ rolling, you could go to a small lineup with Paolo at the 5, and then that creates all kind of problems for the other team on defense. So now I think we haven't even really tapped into what this team can actually be, which is exciting.
Well, I mean, that's the scary thing, is that there's still a ceiling here to reach, right? Because I was going to ask you, what is the next step for this group? And it's getting AJ Griffin to the point where he's a guy playing 20, 25 minutes game, getting into the rotation, making sure Trevor Keels isn't having these 2 for 11 nights, right? Like, he was awesome against Kentucky. He's kind of come back down to earth over the course of the last 2 weeks since then. So I mean, there's still room for this team to grow and get better, which is kind of a scary thought, considering that they're probably maybe the best team in college basketball right now. I mean, it's either going to be them or Purdue, number 1 in the country next week. They'll probably split first place votes.
Yeah, I mean, it should. Yeah, it is scary for a lot of teams because, again, like the two big games this year, Kentucky, we made 1 3, and I think we made 5 last night. So, we're not lighting it up, from the 3-point line. Yeah, and Trevor, like you said earlier, our backcourt was 5 for 20 something from the field. Paolo gets 1 point in the second half, and I don't know where all the offense came from in the second half, but somehow we found it, and we're able to get the win against a really, really good Gonzaga team, and even that Kentucky team, first game of the year. I think that they're going to be a team to be reckoned with down the stretch as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think once if we can get AJ healthy and out there and contributing, I think that could really take the team to another level. Which is scary because they're already pretty damn good.
Yeah, so I want to know that. Like, what's the big concern that you have with this group? Like, is there something where you're like, okay, this is what I don't think will work, or this is what can be exploited, or this is where we might be able to be taken advantage of in certain matchups? Because for me, it's the playmaking in the backcourt, right? Like, what happens if you go up against teams that are going to be elite on the perimeter defensively, that are going to be able to kind of match up with the size? It's kind of like what a Purdue is. Are you going to be able to rely on Jeremy Roach and Trevor Keels in those games where you need them to take over?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing I saw last night that kind of concerned me was, in our pick and roll actions, Gonzaga was like really sucked in and almost daring you to like kick it out for a 3. Mm-hmm. And, I think offensively, that's like our one kind of downfall is we don't really have, 2 or 3 real knockdown shooters right now. I mean, maybe, Trevor gets out of funk. We stick Joey out there. He made a couple of big shots last night. He can knock a few down maybe, but, just last night, that was kind of where we struggled offensively was when we got forced to play in the half court and they were real packed in and, we didn't really have lanes for our guys to drive because, they were kind of daring you to kick it out for 3. So that's really my only concern offensively. Like I said, I think defensively we're really good. And, just can't have a lapse. That's the only thing. Yeah. But, it doesn't seem like they have it seems like they have a good mindset and, strong leadership and, they come out to play every night.
Yeah. I mean, and they're tough as hell too, but you're right about the shoot. And I don't even know if they need, like, you don't need guys to be to make like 4 out of 8 every single night, right? You just need them to shoot well enough that defenses have to respect it. That's what it comes down to. It's never the actual whether or not the shot goes in or not. It's the threat of the shot. And right now, teams are more concerned about the threat of Mark Williams rolling to the rim or Paolo Banchero putting the ball on the floor and getting a lane to the basket than they are Trevor Keels shooting an open 3. So as long as he's making enough to keep defenses honest, that should be enough for them to be able to do what they need to. That move that Paolo had last night where Mark came up to set the ball screen for him and he crossed left to right and took one dribble and dunked it in like dudes his size aren't supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Reject the ball screen and dunk on the entire team. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's special, man. I mean, only thing that stopped him this year has been cramps. No team.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. You played basketball at a really high level for a long time. But is that just he doesn't have his legs under him? Is that he doesn't have, like, he needs more electrolytes? Is he not drinking enough Gatorade? Maybe eat like a banana or something before the game? Like, how do you deal with something like that?
I don't know because I'm thinking back to, like, we've played in environments like that. We played in MSG and packed house. Cameron's hotter than any gym in the world. When it's full, and I don't know. I don't think I ever really dealt with cramps. But I also didn't do what Paolo did on the court, so maybe that's why. But I don't know, man. It's weird because we got a couple guys who are cramping, so we got to figure something out. I don't know, maybe throw an IV in pregame or something, but we can't, we got do some prehab or something because I might cry if we lose in the tournament because we don't have enough guys because we're cramping out.
Yeah, someone said to me that's Chet Holmgren's game plan. If you don't have any muscles, you can't get any cramps.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe our guys are too strong. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah. All right. So let's put a ball in it, man. Like, how good are you feeling about this group right now? Like, can they go win a national title? Are you feeling like this is a team that can? I mean, that would be the perfect way to cap Coach K's career, right? Is to go out and win the national title in his last season.
Yeah, I mean, I think they won't say it, but most of the guys probably have that on the top of their mind. And I do think they can win. Obviously, the tournament is completely unpredictable. Takes a little bit of luck to win those 6 games in a row, but I do think they can. I think they have all the pieces to win a national championship. And this year I think there are a decent amount of teams who have an opportunity to win it. I don't think there's one team that's just far and above anyone else. I think coming into the year, we thought Gonzaga would be that team. But last night kind of showed that they are human. They can be beaten. But I think they'll be right there. I think Kentucky will be right there. Purdue's really, really good. Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of teams that have that opportunity, but I also think we'll be right there. And I think we'll learn a lot. This Ohio State game, coming off a big win, having to flip the script, go on the road, true road game at Ohio State, who's going to be a game opponent. So I think, we'll learn about the maturity level this team this week against Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, because that's kind of been the thing about them, the bye games, right? It was, some slow starts, didn't look great against Campbell, kind of struggled with some of these teams that you probably shouldn't be struggling with.
Yeah.
So it'll be seeing how they react to being, because everyone's going to crown them now. Like that's what's going to, that's
absolutely. Yep.
It's like, Duke's the best team in college basketball. Can't wait to see Duke and Purdue in the national title game. So how do you react to all of a sudden everybody is kind of kissing your ass a little bit? And Ohio State, they may not have the names that pop the way that Duke does, but they just won a couple battles down in I think it was the Fort Myers Classic. Chris Holtman's a hell of a coach. EJ Liddell is an All-American. I mean, that's a good basketball team that doesn't match up horribly with Duke in terms of where they have good players and kind of the way that the positions break down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be a good game, and especially coming off a big emotional win, a lot of energy spent, flying across the country. And like you said, now you're starting to get the praise. You started the season, maybe you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder because, they got us at whatever we were preseason in the AP poll. So, you start the season with a chip.
You can call Goodman out on that.
You can call Goodman too. I think he put us at like 14. So, maybe. Yeah, so maybe after Kentucky and Gonzaga, we can slide into the top 10.
The savvy people in 68 said that you should bet on Duke to win a national title at 15-1 odds.
Yeah, 15-1 was a bit much. Also, last night that line was crazy. I think it was like +9 at one point and like +315 or something like that. Insane for 1-5. But whatever.
I didn't take the money.
A lot of easy money out there.
Yeah, the +9 was nice. That was nice.
Yeah,
we capitalized on that thanks to
our
partners over at Bet Rivers. That was not a bad
thing. Shout out to Bet Rivers. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I can't wait to see what they do, and I'm real interested to see what they do against Ohio State if they can flip the script and continue to play the way that they've been playing. Then that I'll have a lot of confidence in them moving forward. So,
all right. Last thing that we can get out of here. Who's a better overall prospect, Zion Williamson or Paolo Banchero? Putting you on.
So you're talking like if they're both coming out of college right now.
Yep.
Who would I take? I would take Zion.
I think I would take Zion too.
Yeah.
Paolo's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I would take Zion too.
I think I'd take Zion. Well, I mean, like right now, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, Paolo, because Zion's been hurt and not." But like, if you're coming from college, what he was doing in college was
ridiculous,
insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, and Zion may have been hurt, but Paolo can't stay on the floor because he can't stop cramping.
So both of them are off the court for one reason or another.
Yep. All right, Dre. Well, this was fun, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. I'm going to be watching football for the rest of the day. Got to root for these Sooners to get a win. So I don't know. I'm not feeling great about it, but we'll see.
All right.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Later, man.